Hello everyone. I figured I'd do a little update on my Fordson project. Managed to get the head back on, put some new head bolts in there. Kind of didn't want to buy used ones. The price was a little pricey, so I just bought some brand new stainless and trimmed them to fit to make it to the original length of the spec of the original bolt, because they were a funny length bolt. But that's all in, just got to torque the head yet. I'll show you the manifold that I just got machined. The ports were a little warped and rusted. I tried several machine shops to get the ports machined, and several of them refused to do it only because they had no way of clamping it. Finally took it to a speed shop, a local speed shop, and they looked at it and they were kind of excited to do it. One of the reasons being the owner of the speed shop's father actually had a Fordson when he was a child growing up, and also since it is a Holley carburetor, they were pretty enthused to do the machining on it. Before I took it down to the machine shop, I had to install a new vapor tube in it. You can see the old one was rotted out. I had gotten a new one from the Fordson house. It wasn't a perfect fit. You had to trim it. You had to kind of work with it a little bit to get it in there, but this is the new vapor tube in here, and it's all coiled up inside here. You got to take this bottom off and put it in, install it, then you got to trim the top to fit, and you got to trim the length over here. As you can see, there's a brass fitting in here that you actually got to braze back on the end of the tube. So that was exciting. You got to get it trimmed fit perfect almost, and I did a pretty good job, I gotta say, because the one carburetor bolt's on there. This actually goes onto that brass fitting down here, and it's a preheating chamber. I never really heard of some sort of fuel going through an exhaust manifold before, but it's interesting. I looked it up in the book. The book explains it, but it's kind of vague on the explanation, and since nothing else out there really runs a fuel line or air intake through a manifold, it's kind of a learning experience. What I'm guessing or trying to figure out here is the water tank right here. This is actually a water tank. It's a air cleaner, and there's water in there with a float. And the let's see here, right here, there's a little tube down over here that it actually sucks the damp air down into the carburetor, or into this primary carburetor. This is the tube here. I got a new one that I have to install yet, but it goes right in here like so, and that goes down to that carburetor. And I do have a new tube that I can install yet, just haven't got there. And I got to clean up this carb, and then when that goes down into this carburetor port, then it picks it up back through here, and it sends it through the exhaust manifold. And then you got a heat riser here that you can adjust, like a damper. Pull the knob up, move it, and that changes the temperature inside that tube for the evaporation rate. Then as it travels up, it goes into this carburetor, and that's when it actually burns it through the motor, I'm guessing. Or it sucks both ways. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Maybe it actually sucks both ways into this thing, but it's really interesting. The whole thought of running damp air into the motor makes you wonder if they were experimenting with hydrogen technology back then, because this tractor was made to burn on gasoline, and then of course you started it over to kerosene. And according to the manuals in the books, they claim if it pinged too much on the kerosene, you're supposed to make sure there's water and the proper water additives. So the water was supposed to take out the knocking and the pinging and the engine running. So it kind of makes you wonder if they really were experimenting with hydrogen technology back in 1921. But it's one more step in this process. We're getting it together slowly. So I hope you enjoyed the little video. I know the guys down at the local speed shop kind of got a kick out of the exhaust manifold. So thanks for watching. Bye.